In the early 1900s, the automobile industry was crumbling. At that time, the world was moving on gas-powered steam engines, and there were only a few notable vehicles. As a matter of fact, the Mercedes Benz was the only vehicle available in the car industry. All these events created the man behind the marquee, Walter Bentley. While growing up, he had a few motivational thoughts to create the most efficient and finest car in its class. Soon enough, the pressure of making the impossible began to dawn on him. Today, it is safe to say that the luxury automobile manufacturer has firmly entrenched itself as one of the top automotive companies in the world. The Bentley is a vehicle that represents glitz, speed, and power. But how did the man behind the marquee build a billion-dollar empire from paperweight? This is the untold story of Bentley's rise to greatness. This story starts in the year 1913, just before the start of the First World War. DFP automobiles, also known as Durian Flandrin and Perrant, are sold by two brothers named Walter and Horace Bentley out of Cricklewood in North London. Walter, one of the brothers, has goals beyond just marketing French-made automobiles, though. His wish is to create his own motor vehicles. As a result, his father registered him as an apprentice in a small company. In addition to teaching W.O. how to design complex railway machinery, the premium 5-year internship with Great Northern, which cost his father £75, also gave him hands-on experience with technical processes to cast, manufacture, and build it. At the completion of his training, he gained footplate expertise as a second fireman on major express trains, which put him one step closer to attaining his childhood dream of operating one of Great Northern's Atlantic Express engines. In the summer of 1910, he finished his apprenticeship but felt that the railways did not provide him with enough opportunity for a fulfilling career. Walter had a brilliant notion that aluminum may be used in place of cast iron to manufacture lighter pistons after spotting an aluminum paperweight during a visit to the DFP factory. Not too long after, Walter began working for the National Motor Cab Company. Among his many responsibilities, there was managing the maintenance of 250 units in the fleet. He was enthralled by the cab driver's inventiveness in manipulating the meters. Bentley, who had been appointed to the Royal Naval Air Service, was dispatched to the manufacturers to impart the expertise and experience he had obtained by changing the engines of the DFP cars he had sold in Britain. He soon began to gain influence in the whole of Britain. In fact, Walter's influence became so apparent that he received an order from the British Empire in the 1919 list of New Year's honors. The Commission of Awards to Inventors also granted him £8,000, providing him with the funding he needed to launch his own automaker. Bentley was given a team to create his own aero engine at the Humber factory in Coventry by the Navy when the Clairgett licenses failed to follow through on Bentley's more significant recommendations. Then, the Bentley Rotary 1 engine served as the brains behind the Sopwith Camel, Britain's most effective weapon of the First World War. Walter continued to work on the Bentley Rotary 2 and visited operational squadrons as he oversaw its creation. Later on, a man named Manfred von Richthofen, also known as Red Baron, launched a strafing attack at one aerodrome. Fortunately for the future of automobiles, Walter and the officer with him made it out by diving into a canal. Almost immediately after the war, the brothers established Bentley Motors Limited, with the intention of producing highly reliable, high-performance sporting cars. Their first 3-liter 4-cylinder road racing EXP1 and EXP2 became mainstream at Brooklands, then gained exposure at the 1922 Indianapolis 500. Finally, in 1924, the first of 5 checkered flags at the Le Mans 24-hour endurance race was presented, which took place between that year and 1930. 7 months later, Bentley Motors Limited was officially incorporated. The challenge for Bentley now is spreading brand awareness. However, Walter Bentley and F. Gordon Crosby, an English automobile illustrator who works for the well-known magazine Auto Vehicle, were good friends. Crosby created a winged bee logo that both allude to his fighter plane engine design from World War I and represents Walter's desire to push the limits of performance. The logo's intriguing side note is that the letter B was originally intended to have a different number of wings on each side. However, each wing received 10 feathers in the 1930s when Bentley was owned by Rolls-Royce. Bentley Motor Vehicles were nonetheless connected with Rolls-Royce because of the two brands' shared history of extreme elegance and engineering prowess. However, Bentley's history precedes its association with what is perhaps the greatest name in automobiles, and early Bentleys were renowned more for speed and endurance than for refined grandeur. Up until the 1990s, the car remained the same until a redesign of the logo brought back the asymmetrical appearance in the homage to Crosby and out of respect for the history of the car's logo. The recognizable flying bee bonnet mascots have also changed significantly over time. In October 1919, Walter Bentley presented his first automobile chassis along with a mock-up engine at the London Motor Show for Royal Flying Corps officer Clive Gallup. He later created a 4-valve per-cylinder engine for the vehicle. Bentley earned a devoted award from the ranks of the wealthy young British motorheads of the day. He was boosted by success on the racetrack and with a strong and increasing reputation for dependable automobiles. These Bentley boys included handsome former fighter pilots, various other war heroes, and racing enthusiasts. They were all professional gamblers, stock traders, and party animals who had been forged in the crucible of war. They were just the kind of people required to propel the Bentley name into the archives of success, and they succeeded in doing so. Soon enough, Bentley Motors grew to become a million-dollar company. Today, Bentley has emerged as a sporty vehicle with unmatched durability due to its performance and class. Despite this accomplishment, the market for pricey touring race vehicles was severely damaged by the 1929 stock market crash and the High Depression that followed it. Despite substantial financial flows from Captain Wolf Barnato, the Kimberley Diamond Fortunaire from South Africa, the legendary Bentley Boy, and the champion Le Mans driver, the company failed in 1931, following a somewhat covert acquisition by Rolls-Royce, which saw Bentley as its most significant rival. The Bentley's marquee vehicles that posed the most danger to its own were quickly put out of production. Until the ink was dry and Barnato assumed a place on the Rolls-Royce board, the Bentley brothers were kept in the dark about their new owner. When the contract expired in 1935, Walter himself left the company and joined Lagonda. From 1931 on, Bentley badged vehicles shared chassis and engines with their roller rivals. Its most formidable adversary now owned Bentley Motors, a name that the brothers themselves had strangely never copyrighted. The smaller company's groundbreaking technology, which included significant proficiency in the field of superchargers, was acquired by Rolls under the new organizational setup, while the Bentleys continued to compete in racing. Later on, through the Second World War and beyond, this would immensely aid Rolls-Royce in producing highly successful aircraft engines. Off the racetrack, the Bentley moniker developed became the best location for Rolls-Royce owners who wanted a little more power to go with their glamour. Following financial issues resulting from its aviation engine industry, the British government decided to nationalize and disband Rolls-Royce. In 1980, the car division was separated into its own company and sold to the Vickers Weapons Group. Bentley received a new lease and the opportunity to revive its flagging sales by reinventing itself as a performance brand under the new owners. The 6.7-liter, 537-horsepower turbocharged V8 in the 1982 Mulsanne restored the brand's reputation by accelerating the 2.5-ton beast. Bentley and Rolls-Royce both changed ownership during the second half of the 20th century's British auto industry's never-ending musical beds. Volkswagen purchased the company in 1988, and BMW, which had previously acquired Rolls-Royce's engine assets, also obtained the Rolls name a decade later. Up until 2003, when Volkswagen moved the complete production chain back in-house, The two German companies traded Bentley engines and several other parts. Today, this famous performance brand and its rich history are in good shape thanks to its undisputed hold on the title of world's best luxury brand and the exciting new models that are now being developed. Since then, Volkswagen has made significant investments in Bentley, modernizing and expanding its production facilities and creating a variety of distinctive body designs that have finished the separation from Rolls-Royce and restored the Big B's flying wing marquee to its rightful place at the table.